Sometimes in politics, a single moment captures an entire shift in philosophy. Donald Trump's sudden embrace of cryptocurrency is one of those moments. The same figure who once dismissed Bitcoin as a scam later stood on a brightly lit stage and called himself the crypto president. The question is not whether he suddenly mastered blockchain technology. The real question is, what did he see that made the shift worthwhile? This change appears less ideological and more transactional. In politics, decisions are often driven not by doctrine, but by opportunity. The crypto world had produced a new class of supporters, newly wealthy, deeply skeptical of traditional institutions, and eager for political recognition. In that audience, Trump saw vote, donations, and influence. A new narrative was born almost overnight. Looking back to his first term, the White House economic environment was divided. Some advisors favored strict regulation. Others preferred open market. Cryptocurrency at the time was viewed with suspicion associated with money laundering, sanctions evasion, and financial instability. But the landscape changed. New advisors entered the circle. Old guardrails disappeared and priorities shifted. What once seemed risky began to look politically useful. This was not simply a policy evolution, it was a shift in the center of power. When traditional voices step aside, new ones fill the vacuum. In this case, the space was occupied by technology-focused allies and anti-regulation advocates who saw crypto not as a threat, but as liberation. The alliance that formed was not rooted in philosophy, it was rooted in mutual benefit. The strength of the crypto message lies in its emotional resonance rather than technical detail. The language is broad but powerful. The system is rigged, freedom from control, innovation over restriction. These phrases connect with audiences on a psychological level. Hope and frustration blend together, creating a persuasive force that does not rely on complex financial explanations. It is less about economic and more about identity. Policy promises followed this emotional appeal. Deregulation became the headline, fewer rules, less oversight, more room to operate. Supporters heard opportunity and growth. Critics heard risk and volatility. Then came the energy narrative, linking cryptocurrency mining to national energy strength, presenting digital assets as something that could be produced through industrial power. The idea was simple and symbolic, even if the environmental and economic realities were far more complicated. Another sensitive dimension emerged at the intersection of public power and private interest. Whenever political leadership and personal business ventures appear close together, questions arise. Are policies being shaped for the public good or for select financial interests? This is where politics, branding, and commerce begin to blur into one another, and perception becomes as important as reality. History offers echoes of similar financial uprisings periods when public anger toward banks and institutions fueled radical monetary ideas. Yet today's environment is different because attention itself has become a current. Social media platform, viral speeches, and digital communities can move markets in minutes. When a political statement influences asset prices, the boundary between governance and influence grows thin. Ultimately, the crypto pivot is not only about digital currency, it is about power, narrative, and institutional resilience. It raises a larger question. Can the presidency remain a policy-making office, or will it evolve into a market-moving influencer platform? Supporters may believe they are steering the movement, but in politics, momentum often steers the participants instead. This is not merely a story about Bitcoin or blockchain. It is a story about leverage, perception, and the modern economy of attention, where the most valuable asset may not be a coin or a token, but the narrative itself.